It's like, just calm down, folks. Just calm down. And welcome to the Best Boys Center Ice podcast.
The best episode we've done yet.
This is going to be. If you're, I don't usually rant about my team, but it's going to be a good one. The fella on the right is my son Carson Besse. I'm Barry Besse. We're a father and son duo that loves the game of hockey, passionate about the game. A couple of years ago, we decided to start doing a podcast.
We're about to hit the 2-year anniversary.
What's that?
We're going to hit the 2-year anniversary in a few weeks because it was right before Christmas.
Just a couple more weeks yet because we started in December of 2 years
23,
ago. 3 years ago.
23, 2 years ago. Done 3 seasons.
And we just love talking hockey. We love watching our teams, the Edmonton Oilers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And we love watching NHL hockey, period. Carson's great analytics about the game. I've been watching it my whole life. Used to call my grandpa and my dad used to call me the encyclopedia of hockey, and Carson's now the Google of hockey because he's got it all up here in his head. So what we do here on the podcast is we go over the week that was for our teams, the Edmonton Oilers for me and the Pittsburgh Penguins for Carson. Let's look at what's going on in the NHL. And if you'd like to join us, we're on Facebook Live right now. We're on our YouTube channel live. You can comment, let us know who your favorite team is, how they're doing, maybe something we need to talk about, or you can maybe figure out and discuss how good of a rant I'm going to have here in a little while. I'm going to save the rant and my stuff for later. That's going to be at the end. What I want is I want a little good news. I want a little positive news about the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Carson.
You know what? I'm very happy with how they're doing. I really am. I mean, this has been my favorite team to watch, I think, in the past 4 seasons. So the 2022 team made the playoffs, lost to the Rangers in 7. That was a really good team. Plenty of guys stepped in and filled their spots. I mean, you had, at the time, Jari was playing really well, and really the only reason they lost the series because he got hurt at that time. And he couldn't play until Game 7. He got hurt. So, they had guys like Rodriguez, who now is in Florida, got 2 cups. Heinen was playing really well. That team is just really fun to watch, but I find this team even more fun. For some reason, there's not as much star power there, but they don't quit. They play the 60. They're right now having the injury bug. They've got left and right guys getting hurt. Like every other day, it seems like somebody's out week to week or day to day, and it's a next man up mentality, and they continue to play really good. So the last time we spoke, they were on a long break because of the international series, the Global Series games, which were in Stockholm, Sweden, last Friday, and then on Sunday they played against the Nashville Predators, and those games were both really entertaining. I will say. Very great that the league is able to do that. We see this happen in other sports, mainly recently the NFL, seeing a lot of the international games. But it's different in hockey. I mean, you can tell the atmosphere is way different in Europe versus the States and Canada. It seems like a more electric atmosphere, and they're almost not more passionate, but there's a lot of energy in there. And the Pens played 2 games, and they went 1-1. They lost in overtime the first game and won the second game of the series. The first game of the series took forever for a goal to go in. Both Saros and Shilov were standing on their heads making saves left and right. And finally, the Penguins score first. The only goal of the game they got, and it was from behind the goal line. Gino scored that one. But then the Penguins later down in the game, I wouldn't even really call it collapse, with about a minute left in the third. Off of a weird kind of little face-off play, Forsberg is in the right spot, backhand, score right off the face-off. And it's like, okay, tie game going in overtime. Penguins get a point in a game they probably shouldn't have because they got dominated really badly by the Predators. And then the Preds go on in overtime to win it with the Stamkos rip. Blocker high side, beat Shilov, who played a really good game, was one of the stars of the game. But the Preds deserved it. They got the win. And so the Penguins needed a response. especially with the fact that they, after that game, wouldn't be playing again until Friday or tomorrow night. And they did just that. They came out on Sunday and started off hot. It was an early game for the States and Canada. 3 o'clock game, I think, in Sweden, but it was only 8 a.m. here when the game started. And right after the first commercial break, the Pens scored 3 goals already. 2.5 minutes in, Witherspoon scored his second of the year. Then another goal behind the net. He took the puck behind the net and was able to bounce it right off of a defender in front and scored. Sometimes players like that you find and create your own luck. And he did twice in this trip. And then you can't go wrong with the Sid knee down goal, 1 knee goal. He ripped one to make it 3-0, kind of off of a block shot. The Penguins go the rest of the game. And the Preds kind of did take over a little bit, I feel like, in the second and third because they were losing, but the Penguins were holding them at bay where they weren't getting much going at once. They'd get one shot kind of cleared out. And then finally, Lizotte scores an empty netter. And so with that is a 4-0 shutout win and the first win of the career of Sergei Miroshov, who's the next generation of Penguins goaltending. Pretty unique, too, to win your first NHL game in Sweden and get your first shutout in Sweden, which that probably hasn't happened very many times that players won their first game internationally in the NHL. Regardless, the Penguins right now have hot goaltending. Their goaltending has been stellar. They've got something cooking right now with Shilovs and Miroshov, and even for the most part, except the Toronto game, Jari. I mean, them three have been playing really well this year, and are a big reason why the Penguins are winning games, and games that last year they wouldn't have, because they're getting these highly contested 3-0, 3-1, 3-2 games. They're winning them because they're able to save the puck and keep it out of the net. Special teams has also been a factor. They're one of the top teams on power play in the league. I'm pretty sure still top 3, and a top 10 penalty killing team. That's going to help you in the long run. 5-on-5, they haven't been the best, but they're at where they're at because of special teams. If their special teams weren't that good, they would probably be pretty close to the bottom. So I'm hoping the 5-on-5 play turns around, but I think it will once you get more of the mainstay guys like Brazeau, Raquel back in the lineup with some offensive consistency. For now, they have to just tinker around with what they have and switch the lines up all the time, and it's just going to be like that. That's just how it's going to be, and it's just about the next man up, playing kind of ugly, gritty hockey, winning however you can. If you got to win 2-1 every night, so be it. The Penguins have thrived off of being a rush team. They might have to change that up a little bit, maybe, to start to keep winning. But whatever they're doing, it's working. And I'm liking it. Now they have a lot of games now because they have to make up for the time they weren't playing. They've pretty much got the least amount of games played in the entire league. So now for next week, they've got a few games. They play Friday and Saturday night, another back-to-back set. Friday night are both at home too, which is nice. They play their second of the season series against the Wild on Friday, and then Saturday they play at home against Seattle. Then they have a few nights off, I believe, till either Tuesday or Wednesday night. They have to play Buffalo at home, and that'll be the last one of the week before we come back. And I'm pretty sure right after that, they either play another Friday, Saturday back-to-back, or Friday and Sunday. So they have a lot of games upcoming with Thanksgiving coming up next week. Obviously, this is the point of the season where you start to kind of look at the standings, and it starts to become, looking at it, who's going to be in based upon that. And right now, the Penguins have themselves in a playoff spot, and they have been all year, and they're pretty much there at the quarterway mark. I think their key right now is to winning these next 2 games, or at least getting 3 out of 4 points, because they've got a couple less games played than everybody else. This is their chance to feed and gain position in the standings. If they can get those points, they're A-okay. And they're continuing to get points. They've only had 5 games this season without a point, which is awesome. I mean, you don't want them to lose, of course, when they had extra time, but they're getting these points. And that's what's going to be important. The way they're playing right now, too, they're on pace to pretty much break 100 points this season if they keep playing this way for the next 60 games. Overall, I'm very impressed, very happy. They've had a few bad seasons, but this is their time to make some noise. Whether they make the playoffs or not, I think they've impressed a lot of people, and will continue to do so. They just got to keep the same message, same attitude, knowing that they're the underdog pretty much every night that they play, and it doesn't matter. They're going in and beating teams that apparently they shouldn't be beating, or hanging in games that they shouldn't be. They just got to keep playing that way. Mm-hmm. We're not used to seeing the Penguins being a underdog team, and they pretty much are every night. And it's just I'm okay with that, because they have no expectations. No one expects them to do anything, and they continue to win. And sports media writers and all that keep ranking them really low in the standings at the end of the season. I don't care. That's fine by me. They can keep doing that. The Penguins just got to keep playing their hockey, and they're going to be the way they're playing. They're going to be in a playoff spot if they keep playing this way. Because regardless of how you look at it, all these teams have had to play each other. They have. All these teams have had to play each other, and the Penguins are right up there. They're a top 10 team in the league, the way that it looks now.
Yeah.
You know, and it only gets better when they're fully healthy.
Let me ask you a question. I've got the Edmonton Oilers have got goaltending issues. What about Tristan Jarry? Do you think they're going to make a move with him? Maybe send him down to the minors, or just outright waive him or trade him?
Well, I think that would be a good idea because they've got the young goaltending right now in Miroshov and Shilov. And I think those two, honestly, even though Miroshov's only played 2 games, they both look more solid than Jars. Like I've said it so many times, he just sometimes is all over the place. He's flopping around in the crease. Like he just doesn't seem ready. He doesn't seem 100% confident. I watched Shilovs and Miroshov, and those guys got it locked down. You know, we've already established that Shilovs is not good in the shootouts, but that's something he can work on. But 5-on-5 in regular play, he's awesome, and shows Miroshov. I mean, I think that they need to keep it that way. Obviously, I think this is a time where the Penguins can use leverage for, okay, I'm sorry, but like a team like the Oilers who can't buy a save, to just get a goalie that's shown that he can do something, because Jarry is a 2-time All-Star, whether you look at it that way or not, he is.
Yep.
And he's proven that he can play well. You know, he carried the Penguins to a good playoff spot in 2022 by playing almost Vezina quality.
And sometimes just a change of venue. And by the way, the Oilers playing in Tampa Bay, they just scored. Looks like Draisaitl scored, and Calvin Pickard's in net tonight because they played last night.
We'll hear more about that in a minute.
But it looks like it was just a miscommunication. Oh, looks like it was actually Frederick from Draisaitl. It was a little miscommunication.
That's his second goal of the season. He needed that.
Yeah. So it's 1-0 early out in Tampa.
But I think the Penguins can really take advantage of it. Not take advantage, but have leverage on teams that need goaltending, because the Penguins have got their solid goaltending 1-2 right now. And Jarry, even though his cap hit's heavy, you know, that's somebody that the Penguins can get probably a decent player back for, or somebody that can be useful on the team. Yeah. Whether you use him as development or get to plug him in the lineup, I think that that's something that they could have to their advantage.
No.
So I'm impressed. I give him so far an A or an A- at the minimum, because they've surpassed my expectations. They're well above 500 by 5 games right now, and I mean their schedule is somewhat favorable. I think their next 11 games they only play 3 teams in the top 15 or 20, and the rest of them are bottom teams that are more at the bottom of the standings, which those aren't gimme games, but the Penguins have had to play hard teams already and have been playing well against them. They played the Kings twice already. They played the Devils. They played Florida. Like, they played a lot of difficult teams, really. So it's their time to feast right now and get all the points this next month.
Yeah. Well, a team that's not doing so well.
Is it time for the rant? It's
time for the rant. Right now, the Oilers are 9-4, so 500 mark.
This is the best record they've had in the last few years.
The last 4 games. Yeah, you're right. It's a better record than they've had in the last 3 years. But at this time, they went 1-3-0 so far in this leg of the road trip that they're on.
They're 1-3-0.
Lost in Columbus last Thursday, 5-4. Then they went into Carolina on Saturday, beat the Hurricanes 4-3, and then back-to-back losses in St. Louis. In Buffalo Monday, and then Washington last night 7-4. Now I'm sorry, Buffalo. You shouldn't lose to Buffalo 5-1. They are the worst team in the East record-wise, and the Oilers just forgot to come and play. I don't know what they were doing. I watched that game, and they were all out of sorts. Buffalo was just the better team that night, and then they go into Washington last night. You know, good team like the Capitals. They get down 2-0. They come back 2-1. They get down, 4-2, and they were 4 different times, I think.
Where they were down by 2 goals.
Leads.
You know what? I can say
back, and then they get another 2-goal lead.
Those games are the most frustrating.
Guess who was in net last night? Stu Skinner. And what I was listening, it was on TNT down here in the States. I'm listening to the broadcast, and the first 3 goals happened, and it was terrible. It was just a terrible start for the Oilers. And then they said, well, Stu Skinner's gotten really better since he let in the first 3 goals. Well, if he didn't let in the first 3 goals, they wouldn't be in this situation where every
They're playing catch up.
every save he has to make is a big save. And then they still lose 7-4, although 2 of them were empty net goals.
But it's hard. It's hard winning when you're playing catch up. And like I just said, those games as a fan to watch when you're constantly down 2, then you come back, then you let one up. That's the most frustrating thing because you're that one shot away, and they just didn't get it.
It's so frustrating. You get so close, and then you fall 2 steps behind. You get so close, you fall 2 steps behind. So the Oilers are definitely in a rough spot right now, and the majority of the issues, and I'm going to talk about this, is from the blue line in, meaning the defensive core and the goaltending. The defense, I've talked about Stu Skinner and Calvin Pickard as they're at the bottom of the league as far as goaltending is concerned in just about every category. But now the Oilers defense, since basically this road trip, has been horrific. They have given up pucks in their own end, sloppy passes, and leading to many goals that they should. I don't know what it is, but these guys are professional hockey players. They've played this game since they were probably 5 or 6 years old. You don't make a bad pass in front of your own net. You get it out of the zone. You go up. You don't go in the middle of the ice. You go along the boards and get it down the ice or whatever you have to do. The Oilers have given up in the last 5 games, have given up so many chances off of defensive blunders. And you look at guys like it's Evan Bouchard.
He's been not very good.
Ekholm has had his moments. Kulak is kind of degressed a little bit on the point. And then they have a mix of Emerson going in and out. The most solid guy they have right now is Darnell Nurse. And we would make fun of Darnell.
2 years ago, you wouldn't be saying that.
But they had Nurse playing along with Bouchard last night in Washington. And so the defense, something needs to be done on the defense, and definitely something needs to be done between the pipes. The Oilers cannot go. They will not go far with Calvin Pickard and Stu Skinner in the lineup. And now I've taken a look at Cal Pickard, and I was a big Cal Pickard fan. He's playing tonight in Tampa Bay. I'm a big fan of his because he moves a lot better, but he has had a terrible season, and a lot of people were thinking this reminds them of Jack Campbell, who was going to be the savior goaltender coming in from Toronto for the Oilers. He absolutely fell apart. He wound up in the American League, and then he wound up, I think, in Detroit or something like that. So Calvin Pickard is playing himself almost out of a position, but the Oilers have to do something in the net. They have to either go out and get a deal done with maybe a Tristan Jarry or maybe a Montembeault. There's lots of talk about Montembeault for some reason in Montreal. They've got to go out and they've got to get this now. And whether you you keep Pickard, I think if you keep any of the two, you keep Pickard as a backup because Stu Skinner's got to go. You just look at him, Carr, and you've seen him play. He just looks no confidence. He looks like he's like he can't hardly move. He's not very fluent in his movement, which he's a big guy. But I'm just tired of the management of the Edmonton Oilers not taking this seriously, not saying that there is a problem. This is a reason why we didn't win the Stanley Cup the last 2 years. We got to the Stanley Cup, but this is the reason why. He was great in the conference finals against Dallas and then fell apart against Florida 2 years in a row. We've got to do something, and you've got to do something with the defense, or else you're going to they make the playoffs, but do they even get out of the first round if they don't do something but in net and on defense and do it now? Don't wait till the trade deadline.
See, I don't have much hope they'll do much anything because we've for the last couple of seasons been like they need to try something, and they haven't. They haven't. I think they see these few game stretches that the Oilers look pretty okay with. But you know what the problem is? a lot of the games the Oilers win is because they score so much.
Yeah.
If they're not scoring, they're not winning. That's pretty much how it's going to go. And they can't
And
win these games that are like 2-1, 2-2, 2-3 games. They won't win those games. They will not. They'll be the team on the wrong side of it every time.
And their depth scoring has gotten better this year. I think they're not like, okay, come on. McDavid and Draisaitl are going to get their points. They're two of the best players in the game. They're going to get their points. Zach Hyman is back now, his third game in. He's only got 1 assist, but you got to give him a little bit of time.
You want to hear a bad stat?
You
want to hear a bad stat?
What?
The Oilers have allowed the most goals in the league this season at 80. They've allowed the most out of any team.
Yeah.
Does that surprise you?
That's the goals against. It's like they're the worst team, the worst goaltending duo in the league. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has missed 6 games with an undisclosed injury. They're not sure when he's going to be back. So you figure Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is a big part of that team. He can play that third line center. He's on the power play. They're missing him big time. You give Hyman a few more games. You give Ryan Nugent-Hopkins back in the lineup. And, I think the Oilers will start coming back. I hope they start coming back just a few more games. But unless something happens between the pipes and on the blue line to right the ship, I just don't know.
How about Stu's comments this offseason, I think, about the possibility that he wants to try to make Team Canada for the Olympics?
No, he's not going to make Team Canada Olympics. Like, there, no way. Jordan, as bad, Binghamton's had a bad year for St. Louis, but I think he's the guy to beat as far as Team Canada goaltending, because in the Four Nations, he basically won that series for Team Canada. But no, Stu, sorry, you're going to be watching it just like a lot of people are in this February.
What's your opinion about him, honestly? What do you think is his problem?
Who? Stu, again, we've talked about it before. He lets in a couple of goals, and it sits in his head. He doesn't have short-term memory. He plays good at points, but it's not consistent. It's not consistent from period to period or game to game. He just doesn't have it up here. I think he was thrown into a starting goaltender job way too early in his career.
But now he's been one for like 3 years.
And he was all of a sudden the starting goaltender because Jack Campbell crapped out. So he was – I don't think he got a chance to be the backup, see it from the bench, play only like 20, 25 games a year or whatever. He was thrust into something that he is definitely not ready for. Like I said, he's sparkled and he's shone at times, but most of the time it's like you sit here as an Oilers fan going, the puck's coming down the ice, you're going, Stu's going to let this one in. You have that feeling. The Oilers goaltending hasn't really been solid since the 80s with Grant Fuhr and Andy Moog and Billy Ranford. It got a little bit better in the mid-2000s with Dwayne Rollison, but then they got into like goaltenders that were supposed to be good, didn't do much. So goaltending's been an issue since about the mid-2000s for the Oilers. And unless they get some kind of just like we talked about Tristan Jarry. Okay, he's had a couple of years in Pittsburgh, not been great, but maybe just a change of scenery will help. And in my opinion, Carson, excuse me, anybody's better than Stu.
Sorry, Dad's dying over there.
My rant got me coughing. Anybody is better than what we got right now. Now, positive that I want to talk about, if I can stop coughing. Roslovic continues to impress me, playing on a line with Draisaitl, and he's also filling in for RNH on the power play. What I like about him is you watch him play with the puck, and he's smooth. You don't worry about him giving up the puck. He's very smooth. He handles it very well. He's got a great shot. I think he's got 7 goals already or something. And that's the one positive, besides McDavid and Draisaitl and, and Darnell Nurse, for crying out loud.
You all right over there?
Yeah, it's just got some.
He's
Got some
passionate.
things. But I like Ross. Like, I think there's going to be um, changes once Nugent Hopkins comes back. Guys are going to be sitting out. But I really believe and I really hope that when that team can come together with everybody involved, things will start turning around. Next up, of course, the Oilers are playing right now. They're in Tampa Bay, up 1-0 with 10:52 to go in the first period. Then Saturday, it's a rematch of the last two Stanley Cup Finals down in Sunrise, Florida, against the Panthers. And then the Oilers come home for one game on Tuesday against the Dallas Stars, and then they go back on the road for a little bit. So that's what's going on with the Oilers and the Penguins in the NHL. I've got a couple of things, Carson. Victor Hedman out for a few weeks for the Lightning after missing the last 5 with an undisclosed injury. They don't know when he's going to come back. Could be a couple of weeks. But he's not, of course, not in the lineup tonight. Charlie McAvoy, I don't know if you saw this or not, out
Like a shot in the
indefinitely
face.
after hitting with the facial surgery after was hit in the face with a slap shot against Montreal last Saturday. I saw that earlier today. I'm like,
It looked
wow.
bad. You know what's crazy?
You think about this, folks. This puck is hard rubber. Okay, I got one here that Carson went and got me from last. Was it last year against the Ottawa Senators, or was it the year before?
Last season.
Okay, this puck. Did you hear that? That puck is hard. Okay, this thing goes 95 miles an hour and it hits you in the face. Yeah, you're gonna feel it.
Well, it sucks for
And
McAvoy because the last 2 times he's played at Montreal, the first time was during Four Nations, and he got hurt during that game and ruined the rest of the season. He couldn't play the rest of the tournament. Then he comes back and he blocks a shot in his face, and a shot that, I mean, they're saying he could be back for the Olympics, or he should be, but that could be a shot that takes him out of the Olympics too.
yeah. So when you sit in front of your defensive zone and you block a shot, or even there was one a couple of years ago, Evan Bouchard took a slapper like his Bouch bombs, and it hit Zach Hyman in the face and went into the net.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
Hyman had broke
bubble.
his
He was
jaw or
wearing the bubble
something like
for a
that.
while.
So these guys that go down and block shots, God love them. 95 mile an hour hard rubber coming at you. So don't know when McAvoy will be back. The Winnipeg Jets captain Adam Lowry signs a 5-year, $25 million deal in Winnipeg. He's going to stay there.
Yep.
Big
He'll be a Jet for life.
big part of the Winnipeg Jets, and this is something that I didn't expect, but I'm happy to see happen. Connor Bedard is wearing the A now as the Blackhawks made him an assistant captain. He's 20 years old, an assistant captain with one of the storied franchises of the NHL. That's what I've got from the NHL card.
He's led the way for that team. He's led the way with how he's played this season. He definitely
Took
deserves
him,
it.
his rookie year was, he got hurt.
People gave him a really hard time, but you know what? Connor Bedard, whether you like it or not, or agree with it or not, he was the most hyped up prospect since Sid got in the league. Like once he got drafted, you couldn't do anything on the NHL website, NHL media, NHL social media without seeing him. Connor Bedard was being posted all the time, being talked about all the time. There was so much pressure on him when he hadn't even played a game yet. And then all of a sudden he plays one season, he comes back the second season. Doesn't even really have a sophomore slump. He didn't play that badly, but he had so much pressure, people saying he sucked and that he was a bust. And he's proven everybody wrong this season. The only player really that's in the league right now that's a bust that's not talked about enough is Lafreniere. He sucks. For a number 1 pick, he hasn't done anything, and this is like his 7th season. Connor Bedard is not a bust. He's one of the top players in the league. He's one of the top point scorers in the league. He just got a hat trick the other night. Like I put in our description for this video, he and Celebrini, the new faces of the league, each had hat tricks on Tuesday, and they're both top point scorers in the league right now, and they're the young guys. Celebrini's 19 and Bedard's 20. This is the next Sid Novi generation, are those two guys. And Bedard deserves it for all the criticism. The Chicago Blackhawks have become a pretty good team this year. They're looking pretty good. They're in a playoff spot, right now, and I hope it stays there because they have been struggling since they won the Cup last in 15. They just have not been able to get much going since then. But yeah, I'm excited to see this new generation of hockey because like the Sharks have become a very good team. They've been very fun to watch and they've won a lot of games. Even look at the Ducks right now, number one in the Pacific Division, and they weren't supposed to be there, and they are. And they're really fun, entertaining teams to watch. We're going to see a lot of different teams in the playoffs this year that either shouldn't be or weren't supposed to be, and they are going to be. It's going to be so exciting. But this is the league now. These guys are running the show. They are. I mean, out with the old, in with the new a little bit. You still got the old guys playing really well, but this is it. This is
every generation has their Gretzky, Lemieux, and then like every generation has that.
Yeah, this is a new generation.
Crosby, Ovechkin, McDavid, McKinnon, and now the next generation here. So you get those generation of those guys that are once in a lifetime type players. And it's gone on forever in the national.
That's how it works. That's how it works in sports. Yeah. I mean, every league has its generational talents that go on and on and on. It's just how it goes. That's what we're at right now. And the league's in a very good place. There's a lot of action going on. This could be one of the most competitive seasons ever with how many points people are getting in the standings. This could be one of the highest total points that you don't make the playoff kind of seasons. You might have 85, 90 points, maybe 95 points and not make the playoffs. Honestly, it's how it's looking right now. Every game is so precious. Every point is so precious to these teams, and you see it with how they play. I'm very excited, to see who ends up hoisting the cup in June. But right now it's early on, but there's been a lot of fun hockey going on. Obviously, some unprecedented things happening. Okay, like where certain teams are struggling that shouldn't be or that weren't supposed to be, like you guys. I know y'all start slow, but I wasn't expecting what's going on right now. Then you got other teams like I just mentioned, the Ducks that are number one in the division in the Pacific, and I didn't have them even making the playoffs. And they're pretty much smoked that right out of the water at this point. They've beaten so many good teams already. But it's fun. This is what we're here to do. This is what we love to do, talk about. And it's only going to get better as time keeps going on. But we're at that quarter season mark where this is the first checkpoint to see who's where, who's going to make it, who's close, and what spots are going to be filled.
This is where you kind of see where things are going to kind of balance out here.
One thing too I want to talk about real quick or bring up before you go on. You know who this is crazy to think about, but we're almost in December, and I know they're on a roadie right now, but the Rangers have not won a game at home yet.
Not yet. And
they have not won a game, and we're almost in December. And they have not won a hockey game at home yet.
No.
Sorry, that's the Rangers. I mean, they're a great road team right now.
The Rangers have gone from President's Trophy winner right down.
I mean, I give them credit. It wasn't even a
slow decline.
I give them credit. They're winning. They're winning games, obviously, on the road. So they're a good road team. But did you see that play the other night from the game against I think Vegas, where the JT Miller play? Where he kind of just gave up and stopped skating, and they got a goal right after that because of it?
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
I'll have to send you that clip, but I think there's problems going on in the Big Apple, honestly. A lot of fans are upset with JT Miller. They don't think he's trying, but he's playing with heart, and that team, I think, is struggling right now. They can't win. They can't win at home. And if you can't win at home, you're playing half your games there. They're going to be screwed. They're not going to make the playoffs.
No, and then you're not going to win 41 games on the road. You're not going to win for that. Even if you did win 41 games on the road, it's only like
they've won 10 on the road already, which is pretty impressive. I mean, they're on the pace probably to get 25 or 30 wins on the road, but it's not sustainable.
No. Yeah. So the Rangers, Toronto, like
the last, they're second to last in the East.
Yeah. So Toronto's being Toronto. They really miss Mitch Marner. I really believe that's a big hole that they didn't think they were going to have to be. It was going to be such a big hole. I don't think
it is. It's been a disaster for them.
Yeah. But we're going to wrap things up here tonight. Now, next week is American Thanksgiving here. So next Thursday, I don't know if we're going to be doing a show.
Maybe We'll figure something out. Maybe like
Maybe
Friday or something.
Wednesday. It all depends on what's going on with Carson and me.
Yeah, we'll
We'll
figure
try
it
to
out.
get something done before Thanksgiving. I'm going to be traveling to Oklahoma, Tulsa, for more specifically. But we'll get you hopefully something on Wednesday. But you can check out all of our podcasts on our YouTube channel, Best Boys Center Ice Podcast YouTube. You can also get the replay of this on Facebook coming up here, and just as soon as we're done, it'll be ready for replay. We love for you to make comments to either Carson or I on our Facebook pages.
Yep, we love the engagement.
TikTok, we do our TikTok updates. We love to hear from you there. And if you go to our YouTube channel, if you haven't already, subscribe. We've got, I think, 29 or 30 subscribers. We'd like to get a little bit more. And this is the reason why we can go live on YouTube, is because we have a lot of subscribers. So thank you very much. You can get this here in just a minute on both YouTube and on Facebook. Just check us out, Best Boys Center Ice Podcast, or you can check out Carson's Facebook page, my Facebook page. Our last name is spelled Besse. And this is what we love to do. And we know there's a lot of people out there. I want to thank Dawn, Vanessa, Tom, and Tina for tuning in tonight on Facebook. It's great to have people. And like I said, if you have, what's your favorite team? How are they doing? What do you think they're doing at the quarter mark? We'll talk about it here on the Best Boys Center Ice Podcast. So Carson, again, great stuff. Thank you very much. And in the meantime, and in between time, everybody have a great holiday.